in 4 years, I've achieved this, and all of this because of learning languages. And so, if you don't know me, I'm Ivan, and I help language learners to study more than 5 hours on a daily basis and actually enjoy the process of learning languages. And so, the topic of today is how to avoid getting addicted to social media in language learning. And so, this is a very cool topic because, yeah, you want to use social media, but like you want to use it good because if not, you will get addicted to it because there's people right now getting addicted to like TikTok while learning English, getting addicted to, I don't know, Reels in Instagram while learning, I don't know, Russian. And so you basically don't want to get that addiction in order to learn a language because it's just not worth it. There's people who struggle with this for more than what? 3 to 4 years with this addiction to social media, so you don't want to. And so the 4 points that we're going to be talking about today is you can't win. Literally, you can't. How to use it properly. You should use it if, and of course, why is it harmful? Which you probably already do know, but this is our reminder. Okay. So the first point, you can't win, and your competition is this. And you will say, okay, Ivan, but like, why is my competition in art? And exactly, nerds spend like 12 hours on the day on their computer, making you get addicted to a fucking screen. And you're willing to compete with 12 hours. Not only 12 hours of their day, but also the investments that are going into this social media. So if you know, literally, they are going like, I don't know, 50 million, 60 million, $100 million into social media. And these nerds are literally gaining money because of you, and you can't compete with them. Literally, you can't compete with them. And so, literally, something that you need to do right now is that if you're going to go into your phone, like, actually, the moment you go into your phone, you already lose. The moment you go into social media, the moment you go into TikTok, you already lose. Because it's like, it doesn't matter who you are. Literally, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're the most disciplined person, you go into social media, you go into Reels, doesn't matter who you are. Like 2 to 3 years ago, yeah, you could control this because the algorithm was actually not that developed. But right now it's actually super developed. And so if you go into social media, you're going to waste at least like 5 minutes. That is if you have a good attention span, because if you don't have a good attention span, you're going to waste like at least 50 minutes to like 40 minutes. If you go into social media, just by clicking the application, you already lose. You can't win toward the nerds. And so the only thing that we can do right now is to literally not compete. You win a war. I was going to say an intelligent phrase, but like I don't remember it. It was a phrase for of this book, like The Arts of War, I think, from a Chinese guy, but like I don't remember it, so it doesn't matter. You can't win a war, right? If you can't win the war, you literally just escape. You literally just run. That's it. The second point, how to use it properly. Now, schedule a specific time for its usage, but like it's not how you think, right? And so what I mean by this is that yeah, you're going to schedule a specific time for it, but like even if you go into social media, you can imagine this. I was talking yesterday with a guy, which basically he has this problem in which he watches too much videos about language learning, and so I was basically giving him coaching on that. By the way, first link in the description, free coaching if you want. And basically he told me that he watched like 2 to 3 hours daily, like language learning videos daily, and it was like podcasts, videos, like all of the things, right? And basically that is just wasting time. But like you're going to schedule a time, but like not to use social media, but like to download the things that you want to watch in social media. So like to put you an example, I have these carpets right here, and I have a carpet in which I have like the study content, the immersion content, sorry. And in here I have my YouTube videos. And literally I have a video that I'm probably going to watch, like, I don't know, in 1 week when I finish watching some of the animes that I'm watching right now. And so basically I'm going to literally go into the video, and I have the subtitles of the video downloaded, the automatic generated subtitles on YouTube. and you're going to schedule that time to download the videos that you want. Because if you don't do it, you will end up literally, if you don't schedule that time, you're going to end up procrastinating. It is literally as simple as that. So just schedule the time and literally download the videos. There's no other way, because believe me, even if you're in YouTube, which is not as bad as like TikTok or Reels, you're going to go into YouTube, you're going to finish the video. Maybe you were concentrated during all of the video, but like you're going to watch the comments, you're going to watch the sidebar videos while you watch the video. Like, even to me, it happens. And literally meditate for like 10 to 20 minutes daily. You probably don't even meditate. And for me, it happens even. So you have to do these things. You can't compete. I'm telling you, you can't compete with these people. And so that's what you have to do. Okay. Now, you should use it if you have an addiction. So when I was learning English at first, I basically had an addiction to TikTok. I had an addiction to YouTube. Reels not. I didn't have an addiction to Reels. I had an addiction to also video games. And all of these addictions, I basically used them to basically get rid of them. So if you're like, let's say that you're starting on a language, you can use like YouTube, your addiction to YouTube, and just basically do something productive with it, which is basically just learning a language. And at some point, you're going to notice, okay, these YouTube videos are actually really easy for me. What should I do right now? And you will notice that, okay, I need to read more. I need to like do things that are going to get me more progress in other areas of the language that I'm learning, right? And so for that, you actually need to change the methods that you are using. And it's going to be kind of painful, but like at that point, you're going to kind of like leave the addiction. You're not going to leave it. Like, I don't know if you can understand this, but like, you don't leave really addictions. You literally replace them by something else. So why is it that you actually have an addiction to social media? It's because you probably have a boring life, right? I'm not saying this to actually be like kind of like offensive to you, but like your life is actually probably not that fun, and that's why you have an addiction to video games. Maybe you have an addiction to YouTube. Maybe you have an addiction to even learning languages, because your life outside is actually not that fun. And so for me, I replaced my addiction to TikTok, or I replaced my addiction to video games with an addiction to learning languages, with an addiction to being more productive, with an addiction to going to the gym. Right? You replace them. That's probably the best way, because I mean, if you have that free time, you're going to go to those like addictions again. So let's say that you leave the addiction to YouTube, you leave the addiction to social media, but like at some point you're going to notice, oh my god, like I'm bored. I'm bored. Like I don't have anything to do, and you're literally going to go again to the same fucking addiction that you had. And so this is not something that we want to do, of course. And so yeah, just use it if you have an addiction, and at some point you're basically going to notice that, oh, this is not efficient, and you're going to leave it. Right? You're not going to leave it, sorry, you're going to replace it by something that is way more productive and that you probably like, something that you probably do like to have in your life, right? So why is it really harmful? So everything you enjoy and your progress is being harmed. And so what do I mean by this? Your progress is being harmed because your attention span is being harmed. And if your attention span is being harmed, literally, the dopamine you get from the things that could be like reading, things like, I don't know, it could be reading from what you get from what you get dopamine. It could be like making a YouTube video. It could be like going to the gym, and you get dopamine from everything. But like, since you're watching so much social media in language learning, maybe you watch TikTok, maybe you watch Reels, all of those things, your dopamine levels are in here. And for you to be able to actually enjoy tasks like reading, your dopamine level should be here always. At least first thing on the morning, your dopamine should be here. You should not be watching Reels or TikTok first thing on the morning, right? I think that you can understand that pretty easily, right? So that's the problem with social media. The problem is not really the action. The problem is what the action is, like the consequences of the action, which is that your dopamine levels are in here and they should be here. And that's probably why you don't enjoy things like reading. There's people that say, oh, I'm not really a reader. I'm not really a person that likes reading. And in reality, it's not that you are not that person. The problem is that you're literally watching too much social media, and that's why you're not the person who enjoys reading. You know for a fact that there's people right now that can read for like 4 hours in another language and they don't have even that much comprehension, but they still do enjoy it. Why is that? Because their dopamine levels are in here and your dopamine levels are in here. And so that's why getting addicted to social media, even if it's for something productive like learning languages, it's not going to be good. And to finish, I'm going to tell you an story with my English. So basically, when I was starting to learn English, I used things like YouTube, I used things like TikTok, and I also used things like video games. But like at some point, these things became pretty easy, right? Watching TikToks became pretty easy. Playing video games, watching YouTube videos became really easy. And so 2 years after that, I noticed, oh my God, I can't read because I don't have the attention span. My attention span is literally fried, right? My brain is literally fried, and because of that, I can't read. And if you can't read, your progress also will get fucking stuck. All of this, sorry to repeat this so much, but like all of this because your dopamine levels are here and they are not here. And so that's basically what you have to do. And so an action step that I could tell you right now to actually kind of like progressively leave these addictions, at least if you have an addiction to like, let's say Reels or TikTok, I literally deleted my account in TikTok. I deleted my account in Instagram. And at least, yeah, you're going to end up getting like creating another account in like 2 to 3 months. But like at least it's going to give you like 2 to 3 months of like this dopamine detoxing thing. And with those 2 to 3 months, you can actually start doing some good habits like meditation, you read more, even in your native language, start reading more. So this will make you basically regulate your nervous system to actually start enjoying more trivial tasks. And so if you want to get more faster progress, check the 2 first links. Sorry, I can't talk. I don't know what the fuck. Check the 2 first links in the descriptions, which is basically my free coaching, and also in my program, in which is of course paid. And why is it paid? Well, it is paid because basically people who pay are basically of more quality. That is how it works. And so that's it for the video. Leave a like, subscribe so more people see it, whatever. Bye.